bonus as well. It may put a crimp in the dating life there, but either way, Phillip Lindsay, I get a feeling, will be just fine living with his mom and his dad.
I'm not going to touch the dating life part of it, but I'm here for him living at home.
Sure.
Home-cooked meals, laundry.
Hey,
Of course. Yeah, I love going to my mom's house in the basement, the old Gateway computer. I love it. It's perfect. Good job, Phillip.
Gateway computer.
Hell yeah, the cow box.
Is that a Midwest thing? I think my family
I
had
definitely had it.
too.
Cows or computers? Yes.
Not a cow. All right, great stuff from Will Selva. As always, we'll talk to you in a little bit. More highlights from Chiefs-Rams just ahead, but every Tuesday we like to share what we learned from the last week of football. We're 2 days away from Week 12, so we got to get to what we learned from Week 11. I'll start us off.
Okay.
Not to be negative, gentlemen, but kicking struggles are real. We've seen teams combine for 9 missed field goals and extra points within the final 2 minutes of games. What I learned this week is that no matter how bad it gets, though, you can always bounce back. That's all that matters. I was watching Rocky last week.
Yeah.
Rocky famously said, it ain't about how hard you're hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and
keep moving forward.
that's right. Rocky, I believe, was talking to Bears kicker Cody Parkey. Let me take you guys back to Week 10. It was crazy. The Bears might have gotten the win. Parkey took the L in this one, though. It was amazing. He missed 2 extra points, but what's even worse, what I'm saying is amazing, is that his 4 missed field goals on top of that, every single one of them hit the uprights. That is hard to do, every single one. Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show used it as a joke in his monologue. Unbelievable. He called it downright impressive because it does not happen. Parkey said after the game that I don't think I've hit the post 4 times in my whole life, and I've been kicking for about 15 years, so it is almost comical. All week long, as you can imagine, the pressure building. They've got the Vikings, a huge game. I'm calling it the defining game. I'm moving in with the boyfriend if they win this game. That's on his shoulders. And there were reports that he left the practice facility, which is near Lake Forest.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get down to Soldier Field on a weekday?
40 minutes, 45, probably longer.
Maybe a little bit longer. It's about an hour drive down there to practice. He wanted to go out there and kick field goals, sort of get out of his own head. I guess the stadium lights came on. News choppers.
Yeah.
Of course. News choppers.
Capture this?
Yes, they're coming and they're like, what's going on here? They're looking at it. So can you imagine standing there kicking while there's just choppers over your head? It's
Paparazzi.
wild.
Yeah, like Jennifer
About.
Aniston's wedding.
But he got his work in
And he got
somehow, unfazed. Fast forward to Sunday night, bright lights, Alan Chris, all the pressure in the world. What does he do? He went 3 of 3. Hit the field goals. He helps the Bears clinch the game over their division rival. And you got to love Nagy here. He could have gone for it. It was 4th and 4. He puts all the trust in the world in his guy. And we all know here at the breakfast table what happens when the Bears get a win.
Oh, Club Dub.
Club that.
Club Dub.
This is so funny.
Trey Burton.
How about that special team? Man, it feels good, man. I'm so proud of y'all. So proud of y'all. Cody Parkey!
Parkey.
Parkey.
It's awesome.
That's incredible.
What I learned. You can always bounce back, and he saved the day.
That's
That was
awesome.
awesome, Kay. Cody Parkey.
Yeah.
Club Dub. The Redskins, 6-4, and atop the NFC East with a tiebreaker over the Dallas Cowboys from their Week 7 20-17 victory in FedEx Field. And yet, I can't find anyone in America. I can't find anyone else at this table. I can't find anyone willing to say that they are still the favorites in the NFC East. And I get it. A quarterback that you're paying $111 million goes down, and it's easy to run far, far, far away from that team. But if I have learned anything, and not just this week, but in years covering the NFL, it is that you never count out a backup quarterback that the locker room believes in. And if you need proof, how about this image right here? Oh my God, how soon do we forget? Carson Wentz last year was an MVP candidate. He went down in Week 14 in the midst of a season that was twice as impressive as what Alex Smith was having in Washington. And yet, everyone fled from the Eagles bandwagon like rats scurrying out of a Philly Metro Station subway car. Nick Foles not only had the faith of his coach last season when Wentz went down, but he had the faith of his teammates. And a few regular season victories led to even more faith from the city. Foles, who had no better an NFL career and was making far less money than Colt McCoy is right now, led the Eagles past the Giants, past the Raiders, past the Falcons, past the Vikings, and eventually past Tom Brady and the Patriots. Nick Foles was not enough for you? Okay. I mentioned the Vikings in there. They were a middling 3-2 team when Sam Bradford was ruled out for at least the following few months. And who comes in?
So
Case
true.
freaking Keenum. A lifetime backup and the definition of a NFL journeyman. He came in, he threw that team on his back and won 11 of 13 games, including a playoff victory in which he completed arguably the most memorable moment in Minnesota sports history. Keenum started camp having never met his head coach, never met the offensive coordinator, having never met most of his teammates, and yet they rallied around him and the Vikings found themselves one game away from a Super Bowl. Tom Brady did it in New England. Jeff Hostetler did it with the Giants. Even Doug Williams did it with this very franchise in that very city. Backups do come in, and with the support of their locker room, they can take teams to the promised land. I'm not here to say that Colt McCoy will outthrow Aaron Rodgers or will outsmart Drew Brees or outrun Cam Newton. And I know Colt McCoy is not the two quarterbacks we saw on Monday Night Football, Mahomes or Goff. But the Redskins have kept Colt McCoy on the roster for 5 years now. They are paying him $3 million this season, and they opted to re-sign him this offseason to an extension when they very easily could have moved on for a cheaper, younger option. I talked to coaches around the league. Sean McVay thinks the world of this guy. He was with him in Washington. Kyle Shanahan thinks the world of this guy. He was with him in Washington. And I know Jay Gruden does too. But most importantly, if you read the quotes and you read the headlines this week out of Washington, the locker room believes in Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy may not be the best quarterback in the NFL, but guys with a far lot less working in their favor and a far lot less experience with that team have done even more. So I learned this week that even though we've learned time and time again to not count out a beloved backup, we seem to do it every single year. Colt McCoy, I've got your back. Go shock the world, even if it shouldn't be so shocking at all. Let's go, Colt!